Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode on Across the Board. As you can tell, there's no Jade here with me today. He is out and about, but we will miss him. Would love to have him on today. Fortunately, cannot be here, but the show must go on. Today, I'm going to recap the Travelers Championship and then get a little preview of the John Deere Classic going on this week. Had a fun week this past week and had a fun week coming up. A lot to dive into, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. Going to go to the Travelers, though, to start. Viktor Hovland wins this week at 21 under. He wins in a playoff on the very first hole. He sinks a birdie putt. Scottie has a chance to sink a birdie putt of his own, send it to another hole, and he lips out. And it was just a very unfortunate sight to see. And Viktor walks away as a winner. And you look at Viktor this week, and what a week he had. First off, he's first in strokes gained off the tee. He was 10th in strokes gained around the green, 9th in strokes gained putting, tied for first in strokes gained total, 8th in driving accuracy, 8th in driving distance, 11th in scrambling, 4th in putts per green, and 17th in feet of putt made. And a couple of things stand out. Like, number one, strokes gained off the tee, being first in that category was huge. Me and Jane talked about coming into this week how important it is to be good off the tee box. This course requires accuracy off the tee and being able to score from the fairway. And he was first strokes gained off the tee, huge in that category. He was 10th in strokes gained around the green. We talked about how important short game would be. It was good this week. And it was, again, he shot 21 under. He made a lot of putts. He hit some great shots. And again, just putting it together this week was really huge to see from Viktor. 9th in strokes gained putting and tied for first strokes gained total was absolutely huge for the guy. And he had a great week. And just really encouraging to see him play this well. But I do want to go to the other guy in the group, Scottie, who lost in the playoff. He had a great week, looking like he had a chance to win it in regulation. Had about a 2-shot lead. Let that go away. Has a chance on the 18th. He has to make a clutch par putt to send it to a playoff. He makes it. He was clutch. And then we get to the playoff, and unfortunately, it did not end up the way he wanted it to. He was 12th in strokes gained off the tee this week, 6th in strokes gained approach to green, tied for first in strokes gained total, tied for third in greens of regulation, and 4th in feet of putts made. But the big category that stands out to me from Scottie this week, he was 41st in the field in strokes gained around the green at minus 0.228. And you watch that final round, you watch the last couple of rounds, just struggle to make some birdies, struggle to make some putts. And honestly, in that final round, really Viktor and Scottie both kind of had a little bit of a hard time making some putts. And obviously, you had some tough conditions rolling through the weekend, so that could be, of course, be a big factor in that happening. But you look at Scottie, being 41st in that category just being a huge reason for what happened this week. Again, he couldn't find the birdie putts, and he had a chance, again, to send it to another playoff hole. He missed it, a pretty short putt. And you hate to see it because he struck the ball really well this week. Again, he was really good off the tee. Like Viktor, both were good off the tee, and that was necessary to be good this week at the Travelers. But unfortunately, he didn't really couldn't make a few more birdies. Had a little tough time getting some putts to fall. Unfortunately, just was not good enough this week. But I think it was encouraging to see him put together these rounds. I mean, especially because we talked about him needing to be good at the beginning of all his rounds. Like, you look at his struggles this year, it kind of all begins with his first round. Like, he shot 6 under to begin round 1. Like, that was huge to get the week started off right. Then he goes 10 under round 2, 3 under round 3, 2 under round 4. Getting off to a good start was huge for him this week. It put him where he needed to be. He competed, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And at the end of the day, though, him having that good start was really encouraging. And I think it only shows what lies ahead for Scottie. And I do think that at the end of the day, it's only going to get better. And I think it's just very encouraging sight to see for a lot of fans watching. But we had a fun week of the Travelers. A lot of fun stuff happening. But now Let's go to the next week. John Deere Classic at TPC Deere Run in Silvis, Illinois. Jaden actually got to play this golf course. He loved it. He got to see him put up the grandstands and all that stuff, so that was really fun and exciting sight for him to see. But going to the John Deere this week, TPC Deere Run, kind of like last week, driving accuracy is another big part of this course. You need to find fairways, like last week. Find fairways, hit greens, make putts, make the round simple as possible. Finding fairways going to be a big factor like last week. Strokes gained off the tee, going to be huge. We saw Viktor lead the stat last week. He ended up winning the tournament. Wouldn't be surprised if whoever led that category this week also won this week. They're going to be huge in that factor. And again, short game, making clutch putts, hitting good shots around the green, not making lots of bogeys, basic stuff to have a good score at TPC Deere Run. Now, I do want to go into the field this week, and I kind of want to look at some odds as well. So we'll start with your odds at plus 1,500, and the best odds, Ben Griffin. Next, Chris Goddard at plus 1,600, Jackson Coyven at plus 2,000, Keith Mitchell plus 2,200, Keegan Bradley plus 2,200, Jacob Bridgman plus 2,500, and JT Poston plus 2,700. That caps out all your guys below 3,000. But you do have some more big names this week. Like you've got Max Homa, along with Ricky Fowler, Adrian Pottinger, Tony Finau, and the whole list goes on and on with a bunch of big names. So a nice field here at the John Deere Classic. Going to be a fun week. Really excited to see who comes out of this. But I do think, again, you're going to look at this week kind of like last week. Who's going to hit the most fairways? Who's going to make big putts? Who's going to be good around the greens? Your winner last year is Brian Campbell, shot 18 under. I'm expecting some more low numbers this week at this golf course. Expecting to see, in my mind, I think this winning score is going to be between 16 under and 20 under. I would say somewhere in that range. And again, got to find those fairways. That's going to be huge this week. Now, Jay's not here to do his dark horses. I'm going to save that segment for him. But I will pick my winner this week and kind of talk about some guys who I think have a great chance to win this week. And kind of give some guys I'm looking at going into this tournament. Again, a lot of big names. I think we could see a very interesting leaderboard. And again, going to be fun. Going to be fun to see who comes out on top this week. I'm pulling up right now my list I have here. And we'll go ahead and start at the top, though. Couple guys I'm looking at. I'm going to start with Chris Goddard up. One early on this year. Kind of haven't seen him up top leaderboard much as the year's gone on. But I think he could be a very interesting name this week. He is at plus 1,600, the second best odds behind Ben Griffin. So I think he could be an interesting name to look at. You got Keegan Bradley, a couple names down. Again, we know how good he can be. He's a guy who fit the Travelers course last week, kind of requiring the same stuff here. So I think that could be very interesting as well. I think he could be an interesting name up top of the leaderboard. JT Poston, he's had some good finishes at the John Deere. I think it's another name who could play well. Of course, you got Tom Kim. His odds have moved up. He's been playing some solid golf of late. He could be another interesting name going forward. That kind of goes around my top 3-4 guys I think could have a good chance this week. Obviously, again, you got Ben Griffin, Jackson Coyven, Keith Mitchell, all these guys up top this leaderboard, of course, in the odds. But for this week, I am going to take Ben Griffin with the best odds to win at the John Deere. He's played well at this golf course. I believe in 2024 he finished 5th. He plays his course well. I like his style of golf. I think he's going to have a good week, and I think he's going to be able to find those fairways, make some clutch putts, and I think it's his week. I think he'll walk out of the John Deere with a win. But going to be a fun week. Excited to see how all this plays out at the John Deere. Love this tournament. Fun golf course, and expecting a fun week ahead of us. But that will do it on today's episode. Just want to recap the Travelers and preview the John Deere. We will have a lot more episodes coming out within the next week and a half. All going forward, got a lot to cover with the NHL and MLB draft deadlines and all that good stuff. Or trade deadline for the MLB, off-season moves in the NHL. Go get all that information. Go follow us at Across the Board for when those episodes come out. And we hope to see you next time on Across the Board.